team.
And so here we are moving on to the map. Again, this is Scorched Haven. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see Davey playing as the yellow Terran. Below him is his teammate, Matthew Gocher, playing as the orange Protoss all the way across the map. We have Yeon Lee playing over here as the light blue Terran, and right above him is Billy Shee as blue Zerg.
Yeah, Billy Shee has really loved playing the Zerg. He's been really good at him. I've played him a bunch of times at the office. He really knows what he's doing with this race, and he often does get a lot of damage out of this race. And this is the combo these two have used again and again and again. David Kim keeps switching up his race, trying different strategies, but the Cinematics team has been true to their word. They've been stuck sort of with the single race combo. So if we look at the map, we can see there's sort of a narrow choke leading out of your main base down to an area where it's very easy to move to your ally and to defend your ally. There's a sort of a natural expansion there for one player, and right below that there's another natural expansion which gives these races a chance to sort of expand, get some additional resource, and more importantly protect one another. You can see there's sort of a narrow choke point here leading back up into their base. It's mirrored on both sides, so it's very easy on this particular map to move with your ally and defend your ally from enemy attacks. And there goes that first structure down in place, trying to block off the choke and sort of protect this natural area, getting down in the front and sort of protecting his base against enemy attackers. There's a little bit of raiding going on there from Matt as he moves around trying to drive off that SCV.
Oh, and he does manage to drive off one of Hellion's SCVs, but as you can see, he has brought a second to finish that barracks. One thing that we have seen Billy and Yeon do several times is start to build all of their defenses out in this area, even build their regular buildings. As you can see, he is just about to have 2 barracks down so that you can really control the center of the map, and that's protecting Billy Shee going for his natural expansion.
Which is something we see Zerg, of course, do all the time in the original StarCraft, and it's just as powerful as it was in StarCraft and StarCraft 2. He's going for the early expand. This is a map that's very practical, even into 2v2, because his ally can move so quickly to protect him. You see a little shenanigans there from the Protoss as they try to sort of beat on that Zerg building, cause a little distraction. Not much of a game, but these players are so aggressive. They're looking for every possible benefit they can get, fighting for their lives in this battle.
And back across the map, we'll take a look at David Kim's base. He is upgrading his command center into an orbital command. He's also going for a double racks build. We haven't seen him gone for a refinery quite yet, so it's not too likely that we'll see any Marauders out of him. Yeah,
it looks like he's going for a very early push. Probably a lot of Marines moving into play to press. You can see in the upper left-hand corner that we brought up one of our overlays. This is a new feature of StarCraft 2 that allows you to see what's going on in the game. A lot of things be sort of hard to follow. You can look around, you can see what units are under production. We can see right now that Zergling's speed upgrade is under production. As Billy's buying that right now, it's going to give him a real benefit. He's also building a Queen, a real benefit to his economy, so we could watch important action on the map even when we're nowhere near that action right now. And you can see it looks like the Zerg are chasing off that Protoss probe right there. The probe is running for its life a little bit faster than those Zerglings, at least until the speed upgrade is complete.
Yeah, as soon as that speed upgrade completes, obviously those Zerglings are going to swarm right around the probe. Probe heading up for some minerals, probably trying to distract the Zerglings for just a little bit. Probe taken down, unfortunate. Billy is going to be moving in his Zerglings. He hasn't gotten to see what is going on inside this Terran player's base, but there are a lot of Marines waiting for him.
Yeah, he's not going to like that when he moves in there. You see he's going to move back most of his guys and just send in a couple of scouts here so you can see what's going on. A single scout moving in from Cinematics to see what they can see. They're going to encounter a bunch of Marines and a bunch of Zealots. And he blocks the choke just in time. That could have been a little bit of a problem if he got up there and see what was going on, but he didn't make it. And Team 1 has managed to protect themselves. They've got some bunkers in play, and they are ready to defend themselves if a push comes. It looks like Cinematics is feeling their oats. They're a little bit excited, and they're going to move across the map and see what kind of damage they can do.
Yeah, Billy continually over here on the production menu pumping more and more Zerglings. We can also see that right now Hellion is moving 9 Marines across the map. That'll meet up with a few of these Zerglings that we have, and then they'll have a pretty significant Tier 1 force to move over into Team 1's base.
Absolutely. So you can see here, we can bring up the Army tab, and we can see the relative strengths of the forces here, and we can see who has the most forces on the battle. You see Matt Gocher as the orange Protoss is really lagging behind everybody else. He does not have a lot of resources in combat units right now. He's not able to really effectively support his ally, and it looks like David Kim is going to face the bulk of this force alone. Those Cinematics didn't quite like the look of the threat, and they've backed off, keeping their force together, moving back, marshaling the forces for an attack later on.
So it's obvious, I think, at this point, yes, David Kim is going to be going for a much later tech strategy, is putting down 2 refineries. Again, 2 refineries being in every base, very common in StarCraft 2, allows you to kind of choose how much exactly you want to tech. Over here, we have seen Matt Gocher build his cybernetics core and also research warp gate functionality. He has a couple of those warp gates coming in right now. That means that he's going to be able to bring in reinforcements anywhere there is Protoss power.
He's got a robotics facility right now, so we can guess that he's probably going either for warp prisms or probably more likely in all of this tier 1 battle, a Colossus. We've seen time and time again with these players that the Colossus is a very powerful threat. You can see the Zerg and the Terrans here are massing outside Team's 1 base. This is a real problem, but of course if that Colossus can get into play, they can really do a lot of damage here to this Cinematics force. Cinematics has got the board control, they've got the advantage, but they're not able to press because of all of those bunkers. And if Matt Gocher can get out that Colossus, he can really do a lot of damage here and really move to protect his ally.
So he started building an observer. I don't think that we've seen him go. Yes, he is going for a robotics base. So as soon as that robotics base finishes, he will likely be building a Colossus out of the robotics facility. We have seen those do quite a bit of damage in the battle reports.
And we can see the Banelings under production by the Zerg right now in the production menu. So we know there's Banelings. Oh, that's a real threat right there. The Banelings can do a lot of damage to those bunkers, in addition to being very powerful against massed ground troops like Marines or even Zerglings. They do bonus damage to structures, which means they can just barrel right through that force. Assuming they aren't taken out by the fire as they approach, they'll just blast those bunkers to pieces and destroy the Marines on the inside. You see David Kim playing very smart there. He's only got a couple Marines in each bunker. He's trying to divide up his force. He's pulling some Marines out there. Oh, wow, great move by David Kim. He minimizes the damage from those Banelings, and he's really holding off that attack. Cinematics pushing it a little too aggressively there, trying to get some damage, and instead they're beaten back, forced to retreat, and it looks like Team 1's going to continue to be able to tech, and there's the first observer moving out. That's a cloaked unit. Cinematics cannot see that observer flying overhead. They have no idea that it's there right now, unless they get a little bit lucky and they manage to notice the shimmer as it moves across the map. But that observer will give them a lot of control, a lot of information that Team 1 needs about what Cinematics is up to. And you see Team 1 using this 2v2 map to their advantage to tech up and really gain an advantage on this map.
So the StarCraft development team did a great job defending Cinematics up at the front of their choke, making great use of using their defendable area on the other side of the map. Billy over here just really trying to pump his economy at this point, using his queen, making some additional larvae. We can see those just about to hatch off of that hatchery. That sounded funny. The Baneling nest is right over here. Oh, and there they go.
And here comes David doing a little scouting action here with the barracks. He obviously decided he didn't need this barracks anymore, and he's just going to fly it across the board and use it to have a look at what's going on. He really wants a lot of information before he decides to push. He's been held back in the back of his base. What he's probably most worried about right now is a bunch of expansions. And there are not a lot of expansions going on, but it looks like there might be one in play for the Zerg. This is the real problem of David and Matt's choice here, to sort of wall off, to try to use that natural choke point to protect themselves. They've lost a lot of map control. This means if Cinematics can get out there, if they can expand, they can get a lot more resources, and that will be the end of the game. Oh my goodness, here comes Team 1 on the push. Look at those Colossus, that huge force swarming across the map. I don't know if Cinematics has what it takes to hold off this massive threat.
Oh, sending out a Zergling scout, they now know what is heading straight for their base, but the real question is, will they be able to stop it? Looking up at the unit overlay, it looks like they only have, they do have one siege tank out there, but I don't think that that'll be enough. We also see one Viking, 5 Marauders, and a bunch of Marines, and here comes the SC2 development team.
Oh my goodness, just blasting into this Terran base. The Zerg trying to get the Banelings, and they get some hits in, but not enough. And the Colossus are just doing terrible, terrible damage to that front line of the Terrans, tearing it to pieces, and you can see the Terrans have almost been entirely wiped out. There's not a lot left. Here comes the Viking. It's the right unit, but it's a little too late. The Viking can, of course, fire at those Colossus. The Colossus is a ground unit, but it's so tall that it takes air-to-air attacks. The Viking dancing around, trying to pick up the Colossus moving away. The spine crawlers for the Zerg tearing up that attack force, and it looks like the Zerg might be able to hold out against the attack, but unfortunately, his Terran ally is in a lot of trouble as this combined Team 1 strike force moves into this vulnerable Terran base.
So Team 1 obviously is going to be going for the easier target in this situation. They are going to be going straight for Hellion. He doesn't have a whole lot to defend, and all that Billy has to back him up are a few roaches. Those roaches are going to get demolished in a matter of seconds from the Colossus.
And the Colossus are just trashing the place now. 3 Colossus together is a real threat, going for the SCVs, going for the cripple, even as the Terrans lift off, trying to run for their lives. Oh my goodness, all of those SCVs down, all wiped out by that fire. And you can see how many workers are left for the Terran player. He has only 17 workers left in this game compared to the 30s and high 30s of his ally and opponent. And that's the game right there. They really need to get more workers in the game. And it just looks like Team 1's just having their way with Cinematics as they just destroy this Terran base.